What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Josh back with another video, and as you guys can see right now, I'm at the shop. I'm waiting on my client to pull up so we can get this video recorded for you guys. But before we hop into this video, I want you guys to go over and follow my TikTok account at JoshXBarber. It's the same as my Instagram and my YouTube channel, spelled the exact same way. If you support me, just go over there and hit the follow button. I dropped a new video on my TikTok about my story, my journey from the beginnings to now. It's not in depth and detailed, but I'm gonna drop an in-depth video on my story on YouTube soon. You know, just stay patient, you guys. I got a lot coming for you guys in 2021. It's a new year, new opportunities, new goals, and everything. So let's go out there and make sure we achieve everything that we want to achieve. Now let's get right into this video. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Josh back with another haircut tutorial, and in this video we're gonna be giving my guy like a mid-drop fade. And we're going to be taking the top down to a 1.5, and as you guys can see right now, I'm just combing the hair out to get it to lay down in its natural direction. So right here I'm going to go in with my JRL clippers with the lever all the way closed with the 1.5 guard on, and I'm just going to go with the grain, cutting it with the grain, making sure that I'm following the hair pattern because I don't want to mess his waves up. As you guys can see, as soon as I started to cut the hair down, the wave started showing. As soon as we get the hair cut down evenly all the way around the head, I'm going to go ahead and start my first guideline, which is my bald line, using my gold Babyliss skeleton trimmers, setting in my bald line. And as you guys can see, when I get around the occipital bone, I kind of drop it a little bit, but not too low, but enough to make that drop fade look. But at the end of the haircut, it's going to come out looking like kind of like a mid fade, but you're going to see that transition towards the back start to drop. And as you guys can see right now, we've cleaned up all the unnecessary hair that's under the guideline. As soon as we're done with that, I'm going to go in with the trimmers again and just hit the bottom of that guideline softly. Basically, I'm softening up the guideline because the way we set the guideline in, it'll be hard to get it out once we go in and do our next step. So this right here helps soften that guideline when trying to blend it out when you're closing the lever halfway. So right here, I'm going to pick up my JRL clippers again, and I'm going to go up about a 1/2 inch, setting in my next guideline, making sure that I keep this guideline parallel to the previous guideline that we made with the trimmer. And we're going to keep the width the same all the way across the head so our fade can be balanced on both sides and all the way around from the back to both sides. And when you're setting in your guidelines, you want to make sure you go over the guideline multiple times to make sure that you got all the hair cut and that it's even all the way around. So as soon as you're done setting in that guideline, to take out this guideline, you're going to go in with the lever halfway closed, and you're going to start up under the line and just flick up to the line. And if you feel like the line is not blending out, kind of open it a little bit more or close it a little bit more, just depending on, you know, how thick the hair is or the hair texture. I would recommend opening up the guard first before you close it, because sometimes you can just push the guideline up too far and you will end up having to move your guideline up a whole nother 1/2 inch to create a new one. And as you guys can see, we're getting this guideline right out. I'm doing a lot of detail work opening and closing my lever because it gives me more efficiency when fading. So for my next guideline, I'm going to go in with the number 1 guard with the lever all the way closed. And I know sometimes when I start this guideline, I usually start with the lever open first, then I drop down to the number 1 guard closed. But in this situation, I wanted to go in with the number 1 guard closed first. Right after I've made sure I got all the hair cut down to an even level all the way around on this guideline, I'm going to go in with my 1/2 guard, and I'm going to start up under the line and just flick up to the line. The same thing we did with the previous guideline. And also I'm going to be adjusting my lever as needed. So right now I'm going to start my fading down process. I'm going to start with the number 2 guard with the lever all the way closed, and I'm just going to go up and I'm going to stop like right where the side and the top of the head meets, because that's where I want my blend to really fade into the 1.5 guard on top. Right after using my number 2 guard, I drop down to my number 1.5 guard with the lever all the way closed. And I'm just gonna start up under that line and just flick up towards that dark line. And we're gonna be fading down with my guards until this line is completely gone. So right here I'm going to pick up my number 1 guard, but this time with the lever all the way open. As you guys know, when I did my other guideline, I did it with the number 1 guard closed. So the number 1 guard open is just going to blend that number 1 guard closed right into that 1.5 guard. It might not be perfect, so a lot of times in this situation I have to do a lot of detail work in this area because there were 2 totally different guidelines. So to get my blend to blend better with the 1.5 on top, I go in with my number 1 guard with the lever all the way open. Considering that's basically like a 1.5 guard but slightly shorter, it's going to soften that area up a little bit for my number 2 guard, as you guys can see right here, which I came back with the number 2 guard with the lever all the way open. And I'm going to just be doing that all the way around the head, getting that blend to look good. And I'm going to drop it down to a number 2 guard closed. And after that, I'm just going to do a lot of detail work, picking up the guards, hitting any dark areas, using the right guards for that area. So right after using the number 2, I came back with the 1.5 guard, but this time with the lever all the way open, giving my fade a little bit more range, you know, so I can have that 1.5 and the 1.5 open blend right into that 2 guard. It's just gonna add, you know, more transition to the fade. And right here, I'm just gonna do a little bit more detail work, coming back with my number 1.5 guard. I'm just going to play with the lever and do a lot of detail work, and also come back with my half guard. Moving on in this haircut, we're going to pick up the number 2 guard again with the lever all the way open. And I'm just going to go against the grain on his beard, knocking it down just a tad bit. And also, y'all already know we gotta fade that beard in to make it look good so it can blend right into this haircut. So right here we're going to be prepping the lineup. I'm going to be using my Tresemme holding spray, and I'm just going to spray it on, and I'm going to lock it in with the blow dryer and brush the hair down to get the hair to lay down tight for me. Now it's time for one of the best parts of this haircut, which is the lineup. Using my gold Babyliss trimmers, adding a lineup to any haircut is just going to take it to a whole nother level. It's so satisfying to watch, and I'm going to sit back and let y'all guys watch this lineup bring this haircut to life. Just a little tip for y'all, make sure when y'all doing those beards that you're keeping that back line right there as far back as possible while catching, you know, that shape that you want, but you don't want to bring it in because it's going to throw off the shape. And make sure when you're lining right under the jawline that you don't bring it up to the jawline, that you leave like a little space in between. This haircut looks super dope, but right here we're going to add some finishing touches per client request. We're going to be adding some hair fibers. I know a lot of people don't like hair fibers because, you know, a lot of people cover up their work using it, but if it's done the right way like this, underneath it is a nice lineup. So right after applying enhancements, I always come back with my trimmers and I line it up before I add any holding spray because I don't want any excess hair fibers on the forehead or anything. So I make sure I go in and I line it up before I add it to make sure everything is nice and neat. So right here I'm going to be applying the holding spray to the hair fibers on the hairline, and I want to go in with my blow dryer, and as I'm blow drying it, I want to start to brush on the hair to make sure none of the hair fibers fall out. That lets me know that the hair fibers are locked in good. So right here we're going to bring out the razor so I can razor line this beard so it can have a sharper look. I could have definitely made this line up on the beard much sharper, but I didn't want to take his beard any lower. Well, you guys, this is the before, and if you watched the video up until this point, I really appreciate you guys. You watched me transform this haircut from start to finish, but without further ado, this is the cut. Make sure you guys let me know what you think about this haircut in the comments, and also make sure you guys smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm so I can keep growing and reaching new people. It's a new year, 2021. I hope everybody is chasing their goals out there and wanting to be the best version of their self, because I am. It's a lot in store for me this year and a lot of things I want to accomplish. And if you guys are new and you're not subscribed, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel, and make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and TikTok at JoshXBarber. It's your boy Josh, and I'm out.